Today's proverb, hey, hey, somebody's getting fired. Welcome, everybody. This is GaysideStories with Trillificent, all LGBT all the time. GaysideStories.com is the hub for more information, show links, everything that you can think of that has to do with me or this show is at that address. It is Gayside Stories, all one word, on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Make sure that you guys are interacting with me and following me there. Or you can email me at gaysidestories@gmail.com. The show is everywhere you want to be. We're on SoundCloud. We're on iTunes, Google Play Music, Acast, TuneIn, Stitcher, probably some other places. Please do me a favor and rate and review on iTunes. Leave some comments on SoundCloud if you listen there. I know it's a little difficult because they don't seem to like their iOS app so much, but what can you do? And make sure you guys are sharing this podcast with others. That's, word of mouth is how we get these smaller podcasts to reach a bigger audience. Before we move on with the show, I wanted to do a quick shout out. So last week I had my bestie, Nikki, aka Texas Hummingbird, on the show. And in all of our excitement and post chicken high, we forgot to actually plug the name of her makeup business. She did mention that she does makeup as a side hustle, but she actually has a business. It's called Canvas Makeup Artistry. The website is canvasmua.com, and it's canvas_MUA on Instagram. And if you guys need a point of reference for how bad my friend is in the makeup game, you can pull up pictures of Crystal from the Read from last year when she went to the Emmys. My friend Nikki did her makeup. So you guys make sure if you're in the Houston area, you need to get your face beat, hit up Canvas MUA. They got you. And with all that being said, you guys, I am joined by someone that I admire and respect very, very much. I was just telling him before we started recording how happy I am that we connected. I got the PodSquad Quarterback on the show this week, you guys. Please introduce yourself.
Hey, it's John Salvatore of the John Effect podcast and the Pod Panel, aka Fidel Cashflow, aka the Blatino Robert Downey Jr. on these hoes. Thank you so much for having me, for the invitation to the show. I am very excited.
I'm glad that you took me up on that offer and we were able to do this. I know we talked about doing a collaboration a couple of weeks ago, but I think things have been pretty hectic for the both of us. So
we have,
but we worked it out. Scheduling works. Scheduling works. If you have a calendar on your phone or on your iPad, it's okay to use it. I felt kind of weird having to pull out my calendar, but I mean, anybody that knows me knows that I don't remember shit. So I was like, well, I probably need to put these things in my calendar. But here we are. We got another collaboration in the books. I'm excited. So let's get into it. The school and life this week, this is short and sweet for me. My school and life this week is the patented smile and nod. That is how I got through this last week. Anybody that knows me or follows me on Twitter, my job is a thing that I do, that I go to. And the cleaning lady, it's a Hispanic lady, she gave me some great advice, something that I had forgotten. And she basically said something to the effect of, when these white people get to talking, you just smile and nod. Just smile and nod and act like you know what they're talking about, or that you give a fuck, and move on with your day. And I said, you know what? That is excellent advice. And I did that last week, and, I got through the week just fine. I'm sure my boss thinks that I was paying attention to things that she was saying, and I wasn't. But I got through the week. So, John, tell us what helped you get through the week.
Wow, what helped me get through the week? Looking at pictures of baby goats helps me get through the week. It does.
Doke. You know what?
Yeah.
You know what? It's funny that you say that, because I was looking at pictures of baby goats this week too. I don't know how that happened. I forgot all about it until you just said it.
You are silly.
No, I'm dead serious, because I was thinking about that. There's like a gif of this baby goat like doing parkour off of another goat. And I was like, well, let me just look. I was looking for that GIF and I couldn't find it. So I was looking at all these other pictures of baby goats and stuff. That's funny.
That is what gets me through the week. Like, I don't know. I'm crazy. I mean, you listen to my show. I'm crazy. I just, little things like that would just get me through the week.
No, I totally understand. Your show, by the way, is everything. One of my favorites.
Thank you. It's likewise. I really dig what you do. And you had made a comment a few episodes ago and you said it before we started recording, that you leave like the pop culture things to me, and I was like, I thank you. That really was such a compliment, because some of the topics that you and Kevin, Dwayne, and Here for a Pod, you guys touch on those things that I would love to do, but I think you guys have such a great perspective and such a great root in that I'm like, I might dabble, but I couldn't go to the extent that you guys do. So what you guys do is so amazing and so great for the culture, and I really appreciate that, because I don't think I could do it to that extent. I can pepper it in, but I don't think I could tackle it full on the way that you guys do, and you guys do it so great.
I appreciate that. I think the big thing about it, the big thing, what am I saying? One of the amazing things that I've thought about since I've been kind of being connected with more podcasts is everyone has their own perspective and their own thing that they do. And no one's stepping on any toes. You know, there's no, oh, this podcast is trying to be like that podcast. It's, right. I dig you and I like what you're doing, and I don't do it, which makes me respect you even more. You know, every now and then I may touch on, I think last week, just because I had one of my best friends with me, we talked about pop culture stuff, but that's not usually my shtick. I like to listen and laugh, so I listen to you. I listen to like The Read, even Kevin, you know, whenever he does it, I let you guys do that, and I don't really know what the hell I be talking about most of the time. But I'm here. No Tisha Campbell. So let's move on to the next segment, the Come Quick segment. We're going to fly through these things. Now, this segment, this is where sometimes I'll put in some pop culture or whatever is going on in the world. It may not necessarily be pop culture. It may, you know, if the White House is, well, I was going to say if the White House is doing something dumb, but when aren't they doing something dumb?
Pretty much. So
let's get through it. So I did a poll on Twitter, and the question was, it was specifically for gay men, and it said, would you date a little person? So the answers were yes, no, and no, but I'd fuck. So here are the results.
What are these results?
So 20% said yes. 43% said no, and 37% said no, but I'd fuck.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So let me tell you what actually, where I got the idea for this. And it's just because I was on Tumblr, and Tumblr can be salacious. I have one for that particular purpose, and then I have one that's not so much. I mean, can we be honest or can we be honest?
We can be honest. We should be able to be honest and transparent.
So, I was scrolling my salacious Tumblr, and there was a video, and I'm looking at the video, and I'm like, wow, this person is really getting pounded. Like, them walls getting beat down like Berlin. And but then upon closer inspection, I noticed that some of the proportions of said person getting pounded weren't what I'm used to seeing. And I had to look closer.
Oh.
And it took me a while. And then I went down into the comments to confirm. And somebody was like, is that a midget? No.
Nigga, what?
Now, I don't use that word. I believe it's up there. I say little person. But then I scrolled back to the video and I was like, that is a little. I was wondering why their legs so small.
Oh my God.
And so that just made me, and I was like, well, and it was funny because I saw that video and then I saw like two others. And I was like, so little people out here are getting dick the fuck down.
Why the fuck not? You got a hole. Your hole needs to be played with, no matter what height you are, right?
Right. Now, I say this to say, because I did ask on Twitter. I probably, could have Googled it or whatever, but I wanted to see what people would say. And I was just curious. I'm like, are little people's private parts, are they as deep as a normal person's? Because that was a normal sized dick that Sir was taking. And I was like, well, I mean, and I thought about it. I said, well, I'm assuming that little women's vaginas are just the same as a regular woman's vagina because they getting pregnant and having babies and stuff. So,
But wouldn't it come in? Wouldn't it like if okay? So if you're a little person and you're getting pounded, wouldn't it just be in your throat? Like I'm
that's
pretty
what
sure.
I'm thinking. I'm just thinking to myself that there cannot be that much anal real estate just because you're smaller.
Your
But
throat and throat are so close together at that height.
I would imagine so. But hey, no one was screaming bloody murder or anything. I guess it was an enjoyable experience. So I say all that to say I saw those videos on Tumblr and I just thought about it randomly at work and I put the poll out on Twitter. So my question to you, would you date a little person or fuck?
Okay, would I date? I would
Because
be open to dating. Honestly, I would be open to dating a little person. Um, the same criteria for whatever whoever I'm going to date, as long as that person, has those traits, that's fine. And then, I mean, I'm superficial to a degree, so as long as they don't, and for please, as long as they don't have like a Khloe Kardashian head, I'm fine. Like those little person heads are low key kind of creepy. So as long as the proportion of your head is okay, we can work with it.
yeah.
Like you can't be all head no shoulders. Like that's just gonna be really. I don't think I could rock with that.
Yeah, yeah.
I would just be creeped out.
No Stewies. Got it.
Yes.
I thought about this question and I honestly I don't have an answer. And I think that's because I don't think I've ever come across a little person in like out in the world. So I don't I I mean I could do all the research and I could sit here and say, yeah, I would date or I would fuck or whatever, but I don't know. I feel like I would be okay with it because, quiet as it's kept, some of them little people be fine.
I've never seen a fine little person before.
Well, I've
All the
never
ones
seen
I've seen have
any.
always looked like, ugh, no thanks.
I don't know. We'll leave it up in the air. But that was the poll, ladies and gentlemen. 43% of you said no, you wouldn't date them. And 37% said you would break them off. A little something, something. Moving right along. All hail to the twins, Sir and Rumi. We have finally seen their little baby faces. And more so than that, hail to Beyonce's snapback. Because Mama's out here and she's giving you all of the thickness that you've been missing.
Yeah,
And I'm here for it.
me too. I actually prefer a thicker Beyonce.
Me too. Me too. Me
I
too.
really do.
I remember when she was on tour for a really, really long time, and everybody was like, "Oh, she's so skinny." I was like, "Well, I mean, she has a normal person's body, so if you work to the extent that she does, you're going to drop weight. That's just how it happens. Because her natural body is a little bit thicker. It's not as thick as it used to be,
Yeah.
I don't think. But
Right,
we'll see how thick you are when you be on tour for a year and a half. Out
right,
here giving you a full tour, vocals and all.
right.
All right, so
Choreography.
right. The last thing is another poll, and this poll is actually going to catapult us into the topic. So
Okay.
this one I did a little while ago. It's a big dick bottom poll.
Oh, okay.
So
Well,
I don't,
that
I'm going to continue being transparent with you, and I don't really know what I be going through at work. But these things just come to me, and I put them on Twitter.
okay.
Twitter should have never gave me that polling option. So the
Your
question was, The question was, if you're a bottom, does your top have to have a bigger dick than you? The answer is yes and no. So 12% said yes, side-eyeing y'all, and 88% said no. So for all of you big dick bottoms, there's hope for you. Wait, that's backwards. Sorry. For all of you medium dick tops, there's hope for you. I said that backwards. Hey, we out here, medium dick. We can't all be like you, Cuban roast in the flesh.
You set that out. You are. You know what?
Hey,
I see you. We see each other. We see
we
each
see
other.
each other. We here. I'm doing the hand motion to my eyes right now.
Ah,
So, as I said, that will get us into the main topic. So basically, I wanted to talk about some top stuff. Top notch.
top notch.
Because, I did a whole episode about bottoms, and, the bottoming thing comes up pretty often, the plight of a bottom, et cetera, et cetera. And I feel for you bottoms, y'all got it hard out here. But I was like, the tops need to be represented too. And when I thought about this topic, you automatically came to mind. I don't know why.
Well, I'm glad I was thought of. I appreciate being in the mix.
Hey,
I do.
I think actually what it was is probably the first time I heard you say that dicks don't belong in booty holes on your show. And I was like, let's expound upon that, shall we?
Let's expound.
All right, so let's get into it. So I think this might be a companion or kind of an answer to the Bottom Lives Matter episode. That's episode 7. You guys go back and listen to that. And I'm sure this will come up over and over again because everybody has a different point of view.
Right.
So let's get into some misconceptions. We'll start with the social.
Okay.
So one misconception that I see quite often is that tops have to be hyper masculine.
Yeah.
I mean,
can I share something?
Yeah.
Because I was there more so a versatile top than just top, but I actually don't mind a somewhat feminine top. Like, I don't mind that. It's not jarring to me. I think it's kind of, neat.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, I was going to say dick is dick, but that's false. So,
yeah.
But, as far, I don't see it as far as polarizing versus, hyper masculine all the way to feminine, but because it's a spectrum. And
you can be a masculine bottom, why can't you be a feminine top?
Right. Or just be in between,
Right.
But I feel like there may be more, and I could be wrong, but in my experience, there are more bottoms that perpetuate this idea that my top, he got to be hyper masculine and be able to change my oil with one hand and chop down a tree with the other at the same time, and
exactly,
he got to piss testosterone and all this extra shit, and it's just like, what the fuck are y'all talking about?
Right.
And, no shade, but a lot of times those situations where you want this thugged out top, you know what, I'm not even going to, I am going to say it. Y'all get yourselves into some shit. So be careful what you ask for. Yeah?
Pretty much.
All right. So another one that I've seen is that tops have to dog out the bottoms that they come across. Basically, there's this, I see this a lot. There's this idea that for whatever reason, tops have to treat bottoms the way that straight men treat women. And
I've never understood that.
I do
in
not
my
get
17 years in dealing with, the gay, I've never understood that. I always sit back and I'm like, why do you guys want to emulate this? Why are you so eager to clamor to these motions that
Yeah.
you see. I don't get it. It doesn't
That
make sense to me.
Listen, that heteronormative bullshit will get you caught the fuck up every time. Now, me personally, I don't want to be dogged out by nobody. Top, bottom, verse,
You
whatever.
shouldn't want to dog anybody out anyway because karma is real. Like, why would you want to treat anyone? I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe that's the platinum rule. The platinum rule is you treat people how they want to be treated. Maybe some people have low self esteem and maybe those people want to be degraded and defiled. But, someone that's, and I'm using air quotes, normal's not going to want to be treated like shit.
Right. And the companion to that is having that mindset. And so you give tops a pass to basically be fuckboys and do fucked up shit. And it's
No.
just like, you don't have to put up with all that just because they say that they're a top. That's not,
I
or
don't think it
they're
makes sense.
your top. Let me put it that way.
They're your top, they're somebody else's bottom.
Well, I wasn't gonna say that, but
Or somebody else's cum rag.
oh my, good luck everybody. Get tested.
Oh wow. Just
I mean, if you're gonna, I'm just saying, I don't judge. We all into different things. If you out here and your life's ambition is to be a cum rag, there's nothing wrong with that. All I'm saying is make sure that the cum that you're absorbing is disease free if you can.
right. Right.
Okay, so the last one I have, and I'm sure you can attest to this. We see this so much. And that is the idea that there is a shortage of tops. Let me tell y'all something. There is no shortage of men, niggas, whatever you want to call them,
Right.
that want to get their dick wet. There may be a shortage to you of who you want to let invade your canal or whatever, but that does not mean that there's no tops out here. There are plenty of tops out here, but maybe you don't like them. Maybe they're fat, maybe they're feminine, maybe they're black, or maybe they're whatever the case may be.
Right. Say it. Can you say it again? I am so glad that you said this because I hate when I see that, I hear that you limit yourself.
Yes. And I just want you guys to be honest. If you're out here limiting yourself about what kind of tops that they have to be the Instagram gym rat type, or they have to be the thugged out type, or they have to be this, they have to be that, just own up to it. But don't come out here saying, well, there's no tops, everybody a bottom, and I don't dyke, which is, I hate that terminology.
I fucking hate that.
I hate when gays say that. I hate when bottoms say that. I don't get it. I mean, I know everything is a joke, ha ha, funny, but really, it's that's much. There's no shortage of tops. They out here, and another way that I see a lot of people limiting themselves is that they don't want to mess with a guy unless he's a 100% top and never been a bottom, and it's just like, I don't get that, because if he's willing to bend you over, then what's the problem? Isn't that what you want? You want to get mounted, you want to get ridden like a horse, and here's a nigga that's willing to do it, but you're gonna be like, nah, that's okay because he verse or he bottom for somebody. Like, what are y'all even talking about? Y'all talk yourselves out of dick every day. You do.
Tell them, please let them know.
All right, so let's shift it a little bit. We're going to be more specific and talk about the dating and sexual misconceptions.
Okay.
Okay, so this first one gets on my nerves, and I feel like we may have talked about this before, or I may have talked about this on the show before, but it bears repeating.
So you can talk about whatever you want to as often as you like, and the listeners will deal.
You damn right.
Remember that.
You damn right. So this idea that tops have to be the breadwinner. Again, it goes back to this heteronormative shit. And, I don't know what you guys are out here going through where you want to be taken care of. by a regular nigga. Now, if you out here, you looking for a sugar daddy, because I've seen it on Instagram. Niggas on the come up. 1 minute they, living in South America and they in love with somebody that is their age and has been in love for 8 years, and the next minute they married to some old white man and they living in Utah or something. So if you on the come up, that's fine.
Okay.
But if you a everyday regular schmegular nigga, you get up and you get your ass out of bed and you go clock in and your dude does the same. I don't understand this idea that he needs to be the breadwinner. He needs to pay for everything. Every time y'all do something, he needs to pay for everything. Now, if you get a man like that, kudos to you. Let me clap for you. But don't push that on any and everybody that you meet.
It's unfair.
It's unfair to you and to them, mostly to them. But I mean, in this economy, like, are y'all serious? It's hard out here. Ain't nobody got time to be trying to take care of no grown ass man.
Right.
I wonder, is there like a site for gays to go through to find like a sugar daddy? I'm sure there is.
There is. We may have to talk about that offline. Not that that's my thing, because little sidebar. Someone thought that I only seek to date people of a certain class, and I was like, I didn't really let them know. One, I didn't know that people really inbox people on SoundCloud, so that kind of took me aback. And then for them to say, oh, you seek out such and such, I guess because I've mentioned on the show, through my 17 years of dating, I have come across a certain demographic of men, but that's not because I went out of my way or I said I just want to date this type of man. It's just me being me and the surroundings and the situations, and things happen. People gravitate to people how they're going to gravitate towards people. So it
I get it. So
yeah.
At the very least, I will say this is a conversation you need to have with your potential boo, babe, whatever. Don't be out here and feel like, just because you busted it open the first night that y'all talked on Jacked, that now all of a sudden this nigga need to be paying your cell phone bill and your cable bill so you can watch Game of Thrones.
Right.
Be considerate. Be reasonable. Be reasonable.
Don't be uncool. Just be cool.
Yeah. All right, so here's the next one, and it's kind of the same but a little bit on the reverse, and it's that top should find somebody that will take care of home and cook for them and blah blah blah. Basically, that top should find a bottom that is going to be their mama or their grandma or something. Again, with the heteronormative shit, I don't understand why y'all don't want grown men to take care of themselves. I get being nurturing. I get being nurturing, and I get, people have different quote unquote love languages, and, cooking might be your love language, or, vacuuming so that the lines are crisp might be that's all fine and dandy.
Right.
But don't be out here encouraging these niggas to be on Instagram talking about, if you don't cook me ham hocks and oxtail and shit every night, then you ain't the one for me. Because who's doing that? Like,
even if you are, that's not going to stop a nigga from cheating. So...
That too. But nigga, this ain't soul food. Like,
who eat like that every night though? Like, nah.
Who has time to cook? Who has time to pay for the groceries? Like, all of this extravagant shit that y'all, these things that you put on, like, this shit costs money. Maybe it's just me. I'm poor, so I don't have time for all that. Like, we can get this baked chicken popping and then, call it a night, snuggle up, and try to figure out whose Netflix are we using. If we together, we only need one. You know what I'm saying? Somebody can get they 1081 back a month.
Right.
Okay. So next is that real tops top other tops, and that's a shout out to the Here For It podcast because they had an episode called Topping Tops.
Yes.
This is a very strange ideology to me. Again, this rhetoric and this this invisible rule book of what it means to be a real top, and that top should be out here actively seeking to debunk other tops. You already out here complaining that it's not enough tops, and now you telling tops that they need to be topping other tops. I'm confused, because if the tops are topping other tops and you a bottom, then what's left for you? Because you don't want the top that just got topped, right?
Right, exactly. You just said it.
Y'all got to do better, you know. If again, if two people decide to become one, like the Spice Girls, and this nigga says I'm gonna top you, and you say I'm gonna bottom for you, that should be it. Like all the extra of if he got, I mean, if the nigga got a train ran on him, what does that have to do with the fact that he is up and ready to be your top at that moment?
Oh gosh, not a train.
Well, I was trying to think of the most extreme.
Yeah, that's definitely, as long as that train was, he has a clean bill of health afterwards.
Told
It
y'all,
should be all.
get tested, know your status, know your worth. All right, so we're gonna shift a little bit more and
Okay.
Get a little personal.
Sure.
So here's a question for you.
Okay.
Without getting into a specific situation, unless you want to.
Okay.
As a top, what makes the sex good to you?
A nice, clean, tight hole. Preferably someone that smells good. And someone that'll let me just do what I want to.
Oh my.
That is a great situation. Let me be in control. Let me run it. And that's pretty much. I'm so easy peasy. So I'm so easy to please when it comes to that. You let me do what I want to. You let me snap that back. In the pieces, we're good.
Not in pieces.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? That makes sense. Most big dick niggas that I've come across be like, I'm not hard to please because, most of y'all out here can't take me. So I appreciate that about you.
Silly.
Let's see. For me, I mean, the things that you said are kind of par for the course. I think what makes it good for me is a level of sensuality,
Yeah.
Not saying we have to have this deep, ghost level bond or anything like that, but if, we can be sensual, and I don't like it when it feels like a transaction. You know what I mean? Like I'm at the grocery store paying for groceries type thing. It's just like, I mean, come on, pull it out and let me suck it and let me ride it, and okay, thanks, I'm about to go. And it's just like, I mean, that's all great and everything, and I'm gonna get my nut either way, but if we can just have some kind of physical connection beyond just dick in hole. But then, like you said, if the hole obviously has to be tight, and honestly,
and no braille. Like your butthole shouldn't have braille on it. It just
not braille.
Shouldn't. That's a killer. Like why?
All right. Smell good. I mean, that always helps. But that's anything, like if I don't even have to be wanting to fuck you, and I would prefer for you to smell good. And I think I might be a little bit of the opposite. I think I kind of like when a bottom, or if the person is bottoming in that situation, takes a little bit control, or maybe we kind of flip flop on the control.
Okay.
Honestly, it depends on the person, though.
I'm with you on that.
Because some people, you're like, no, I'm here to dominate. I'm about to wreck it, Ralph. And then some people,
pretty much, unless you yell out the safety word, just let me do.
Let me do what I do. All right. So, what are some do's and some don'ts for tops?
Some do. Make sure you get your nuts.
Do make sure that you bathe properly prior to
Yeah.
any situations. There's no
I
excuse.
don't know. Let me say this. Some people like the smell of musty nuts.
I was about
Given
to,
the
yeah.
food, I may be,
I was gonna say that, unless you have an understanding,
right,
but if y'all just talking on Jack and that doesn't come up, then
right.
be
No,
be
not
err
like
on
I
the side of caution and scrub the
yeah,
motherfucking nuts. How about that?
exactly.
All right. Um, do be attentive to your partner. Like, don't just be back there pounding. Don't neglect your partner. If they like to get their dick sucked, and which can we just push pause on that real quick? One of the misconception, a sexual misconception is that I have come across in my limited experience that tops don't suck dick, or that somehow if you're a top that sucks dick, that makes you less than a top.
It doesn't.
I want y'all to get help. I want y'all to hug yourselves. I want you to love yourself. And I want you to stop putting all these weird as limitations and expectations onto people, because you sound ridiculous.
Right.
Because there's very few situations where I'm like, I mean, if we chatting it up or whatever, and you'd be like, I mean, yeah, I top and I eat ass, but I don't suck dick. I'm gonna be like, I mean, well, you have a great night. I'm on the.
No, that's not okay. That's not fair. You're wilding. That's not fair. I like to eat ass. I don't particularly like sucking dick. I just don't. Like, it doesn't do anything for me. Like, if unless there is an emotional attachment and I'm with someone or I'm involved, then I might do it. But if it's just a random tandem hookup or, just a session at the gym, I'm not putting dicks in my mouth. I'm just not doing it. It's just no.
But
Mm-mm.
I'm saying, but it's all in
Maybe
the
I'm
course.
brainwashed.
It's all in the course of conversation, though. Like, these things. Basically, what I'm saying is, you don't want somebody coming and expecting head, and you don't want to be expecting it and it doesn't happen. Is all I'm saying. I get that there are some guys out there that's just like, I mean, listen, I put a lot of things in my mouth and dick is not one of them.
Right.
I appreciate that. And in those situations, usually they are the best ass eaters. In which case, I'm like, well, I mean, let me just toot it up, because some kind of way you're gonna be putting in work.
Right.
But again, that all is in understanding, and
It is.
you have to. I get it, y'all trying to get to the nut as fast as possible, but when you don't take the time to build that connection with someone, you kind of have to be transparent in the things that you like and the things that you want, or the things that you're not willing to do. Okay, get back to the do's and don'ts. Let's see. Let me think. I don't know. I think we hit most of the important ones.
Yeah, we did.
Basically, don't be out here trying to be a porn star with someone and they are, they're not they don't have the range.
Exactly. Like, you have to that goes to what you were saying. You kind of just have to be able to read people's body language, and you just have to know how to take social clues. Like, you just have to know how to interpret that. Like,
right.
It,
right.
you have to understand you're having sex with someone else. Like, it's not just what you want, it's what you guys want to accomplish together.
Right. It's a shared experience.
Pretty much.
I did think of, and this is, no, it needs to be said. Don't be out here being no fuckboy. Don't be doing that shit that straight niggas do. And it may not just be straight niggas, but I mostly see them talking about it.
What?
Don't be out here, like, taking the condom off in the middle of sex and shit like that. Like, don't do that.
Wait, what? Niggas do that?
Apparently. I see that on Twitter and Instagram a lot. Like, and I've seen it on Tumblr too. Niggas think that shit is funny. Like, yeah, you give them you get them, however many strokes, 5 or 10, and then you just quietly slip that on off, and then you go to Pound Town, and it's like, I'm pretty sure that's sexual assault. I know that you guys think everything is funny as a joke, but some of this shit that y'all think is funny are actual crimes.
Fucked up. I wish the fuck.
And you may not make it home. I'm just saying. So if anybody's out there listening to this and they think that shit is funny, don't do that. Don't do that. Even if y'all have talked about sexual health and you've provided results, don't do that. What are some of your turn-offs and turn-ons?
And this is regards to being in the top position.
Yes.
Turn-ons. I like my ears kissed.
Okay.
I like a little dirty talk. Turn off heavy breathing. It's just whether you're asthmatic or you're husky. Heavy breathing is a turn off. Body odor is a turn off. Like if you smell like outside, if your pits are just mangy, that is a turn off. The decorum. If I'm at your place and there are roaches,
nigga,
or like there are like cigarette butts on the carpet, that is such a turn off. Like that's disgusting. Like if I go to get up to go to the bathroom and the toilet's not flushed, turn off.
Come on. All right. Let's see. How much of my business am I gonna tell?
Okay.
I can agree with you on some of the turnoffs. Like body odor is you have to get out of my house, or I have to get out of yours. There's just no. I just overall dirtiness, I guess.
Hygiene is important.
It is. Again, there are, and I think we may have talked about this, or I've talked about this somewhere. It may have been when I was on the Crown and Collars podcast. There are kinks, and I appreciate that, but them kinks there are no kinks over here. That shit where y'all like to shit and you don't clean up the shit, you can keep that shit away from me.
Wait, what? Yo, what do you mean? Wait, what?
Listen, okay. Quick story for anybody who didn't hear that episode. On that show, my friends Jeremy and Dan, they do misconnections off of Craigslist. And because I was on the show, I said, why don't you do some misconnections from here, from Houston? And so the last one, I believe the title was something to the effect of Dirty Butt at Sex Party or something like that. Basically, this man was on Craigslist. He went to a sex party. He started hooking up with somebody. He went to the back to eat the groceries, and the groceries, had a mudslide on them.
Oh, nigga, that's so nasty, yo.
It gets better or worse.
Ooh.
Not only did he's in the letter, he said something to the effect of, you were pretty dirty back there, but it turned me on more, and I just kept on eating.
No!
And
wait, are they white? Was this person white?
It didn't say.
It was white. It was white.
And then,
no offense, it was white. Niggas ain't doing it.
It went on to say that, I wanted to do a lot more stuff, but there were other people in the room, so I just went to the bathroom and washed up. And then came...
Other stuff like what? Like eat the doo-doo? No.
I mean, well, he was already doing that. I'm assuming he meant like he wanted to play in the playground. Like he wanted to get into the mud.
Oh, no.
And then he said... He says, okay, I went to the bathroom and cleaned up, and then I came back and we kissed and jacked off. And I'm like, so you with your Jesus. And I was so completely flabbergasted by this entire exchange. But what really took me over were two things. Number one, the fact that you want to find this shitty booty person again and do quote unquote more. You wanted to get all the way freaky with them.
No.
And number two, How dare you go to a sex party with a shitty booty? Like, what the fuck?
Where is the couth? Where's the decorum? Where is the etiquette? That is just
So I say, unless it is specifically a dirty booty sex party, which clearly this was not, because if it was, he would not have been.
to go to a dirty booty sex party
Hey,
though.
I don't know. Y'all out here into some things, and that is fine for you. I don't want to get pink eye. I don't like the shit belongs in the toilet. That's the only place it belongs for me.
Oh. Mm.
So I say all that to say,
Mm-mm.
wash your kibbles and bits before you present them to me. Yes? All right. If you're going to be bottoming for me, I need you to have given that thing, a hydroplane. Like I need you to have waterboarded that monkey. Like,
Right,
I
because I
don't.
will punch you in the face, and I have punched niggas in the face. That I was like, look, you can't get mad. You shit on my dick. You getting these hands. It's just that's it. Like you should know better. We're adults.
Right. Now, the whole thing, I know accidents happen, et cetera, et cetera. I mean specifically that you did not put the proper time and care into rinse, giving it what do I say? Hashtag a good rinse. Give it a good
Right.
rinse. So that's obviously a major turnoff. What other turnoffs do I have? I like the weird, some of those big boy fetishes that some of y'all have. I don't like that stuff. No, you can't feed me spaghetti while you ride my dick and stuff like that. I don't like that kind of
Fuck.
stuff. Listen,
What?
I've had this happen to me. Like I had a guy hitting me up like, "You not big enough. Let me feed you and make you bigger." And I was just like, "Well, actually, my doctor says that I need to lose weight, so this is not going to work." I appreciate your enthusiasm and your interest. I'm going to have to go with a different candidate at this time. We appreciate your application, and we
Right.
wish you the best in your endeavors.
Uh-huh.
And I know that it's a thing. It's like, oh, I want to like I want to feed you chocolate cake while I'm like snorting your
That's
nut or something. I don't know, y'all. Again, I don't judge. It's just not for me. It's not in my ministry. I
right.
don't, it's not my thing. Turn-ons, huh? Turn-ons. Let me think. Let's flip the script a little bit because we've gone on quite the tangent. And that's actually a disgusting tangent.
It is.
Turn-ons. I'm with you. I like kind of the neck and ear kisses type thing. Um, a good smell. You know, be it soap if you use a good soap, or if you have like a
Right.
bomb ass cologne, that can take you places or take us places.
Yes, a good cologne can
A
take
good,
you places.
and when I say a good cologne, let me put this out here for you guys. Just because the cologne is name brand or expensive, that does not mean that it smells good on you.
Pretty much.
I need everyone to understand that you have to find a cologne that works for you, because colognes interact differently with our bodies. It just is what it is. So if you find a cologne that smells good and smells extra good on you, then you get sopped up like a biscuit. Like, it is what it is.
Right.
And like I think I said before, I like a little bit of, maybe not dominance is not the right word, but uh, assurance. Like if you're confident in what's about to go down, that's a turn on.
Right.
Without getting into the graphic details, because we can go on and on with this, but
I was gonna go graphic. I'm just gonna say this.
if we go in there, then let's go there. Hold on,
Laugh off
we can go there. Let
face.
me sip my
Not
drink.
even turn- if he's like, yo, shoot that shit in my face. A1, you're the MVP. I love when I'm not shit. You follow me on Twitter. You listen to the show. If these niggas are going to let me blast off in their face and they are begging for it or asking for it, of course I should oblige. Of
Of
course.
course, you would be disrespectful and rude if you didn't.
Right.
I mean, if they're asking for it, who are you to
If
say
they're
no?
asking so nicely and so politely, or even
Even dirtily.
not polite, if they're saying, give it to me, of course, it's, I should.
Of course. Some
Of course.
encouraging words go a long way as far as turn-ons.
Yes.
Uh, or sounds, grunts, things of that nature. Maybe not the heavy breathing, as John said.
No heavy breathing. A nice moan or a pant.
I was gonna say
Yes,
a pant. Now, a pant can take us to the stratosphere,
it can.
but
It can.
a heavy breathe, especially because I'm a big boy myself. So if you get to breathing heavy, and I'm thinking of the scenarios where I breathe heavy, I'm gonna be concerned for your well being.
Oh God.
Um, do with that what you will. Let's see. As far as turn ons, I like a little nipple play. We can go there.
Yeah.
Um,
No biting. I don't like when niggas bite. Like, don't. These are not Chico sticks. They're nipples. Stop munching on. I hate that shit. Another thing that'll get you punched in the face.
I mean, I like a little a light nibble. Now, if you
No.
trying to bite my shit like it's a motherfucking Dorito, then yeah, you might catch a knee to the jaw. But again, it's you got to read this. If you got to read the cues, if you are, like I said, you out here munching on the shit like it's goddamn chicken bone, and your partner is like, no, then pick up on that. Because
Right.
I've, in my experience, I've seen and I've dealt with some guys. They have a recipe and they feel like the recipe works for everyone, and that's not how
Not
life
one size
works.
fits all. That's not how life works.
So, you might have come across somebody that wants you to turn their nipple into a fucking pepperoni. I am not that person.
Me either.
Um, a big turn on for me is being able to take direction. Like if I'm directing you to do something, like if I'm steering you towards my dick or something like that, then be obliging.
But if they don't take direction, then if they don't take the cue in the direction of that, I am not above saying, please put some more dick in your mouth. Please.
Agreed.
And thank you.
Agreed.
Put a little more dick in your mouth. It's not that hard to say. If you don't ask, you'll never get results.
Right, and that's a
Everyone
turn on
doesn't
too. That's like
have the intuition.
having someone be able to open up their mouth and say, this is what I want. This is what I'm trying to do. Like I'm trying to have you tie me to the wall and do all these unspeakable things to me. Like if you can open your mouth and say that, then okay, we can get somewhere. But different strokes for different folks. No shade to you, you meek lovers out there, because if I'm not comfortable with the person, I can be like that myself.
Right, me too.
Which is again, I think, and it's just the older that we get, it's just like, can we talk a little bit? Like, I don't need to know, about your mother's cancer and all that kind of stuff, but can we just build a rapport before, you come over here and all that kind of good stuff?
Right.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Sure, what's up?
Hairy booty or nah?
I no hairy booty, smooth booty. Minimal hair.
Okay.
I don't like hair on my teeth. I'm not a fan
Listen, it can be a predicament.
of it.
When I was younger, I didn't really fuck with body hair at all, because I'm like naturally, I don't have a lot of body hair.
Right.
And not having been exposed to too much, you're just like, nigga, what the fuck? Why are you so hairy? Like, why are you not like me? But as I've gotten older, I've learned to appreciate the body hair to a degree. I mean, RuPaul is still working on me. If you are out here looking like Smokey the Bear telling me that only I can prevent forest fires, then we may have some hangups.
Right, we may.
And yeah, for the longest, I was like, hairy booty? Like, where they do that at? But I think I agree. It doesn't have to be smooth, but I also am not a fan of needing like a brush and a comb to get to the hole.
No, not gonna happen. Not on my watch.
So it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
All right. So, what was one of your worst topping experiences?
When someone not only puked on my dick, they shitted on my dick, and I had to ask them to leave the premises immediately. And
Yo,
that will forever be the worst experience.
nigga,
Dreadful. And was
shit
fine
and
as
puke.
shit. Was fine, tall, cute ass Dominican dude. It sucked to have to tell him to get the fuck out and to punch him in the face. It really did.
A parting gift.
Right.
Wow. And it's so crazy because you said that, and the first thought that came to mind was, is this nigga running an ER? Like, damn, shit and puke. What the
Yeah,
fuck?
I was like, what the fuck? What are you
Like,
doing?
what did you eat, baby? Ooh.
I don't know, but
Let's
it
see.
was unfortunate.
That's a very polite way of putting it because it was fucked up if you ask me.
Right.
Let's see. One of my worst top experiences. Okay. When I was in college, I was messing with this guy,
Hmm.
and he, I don't know, whatever he had going on. Anyway, we were getting down to the business in his bedroom, and he had like some friend of his, like this lesbian girl, staying with him, and she knew what was going on, and she walks into the room, and she's like, "Ew, y'all, y'all be doing that? Y'all got dicks and da-da." And it was just like, why are you here, ma'am? Clearly, you wanted to see because she went into his closet. It was like, oh, I needed like a piece of paper or something. And it was like, girl,
No, you didn't,
you
bitch.
clearly wanted a show, so you could come in here and be foolish. Um, so that was already annoying. But then after the fact, and this was when I was young and dumb and poor. Um, we were raw dogging it. Now, to my credit, and to I
Oh,
guess our credit,
a raw dog.
it wasn't a random, like we were, involved for a time, so it wasn't just like the first time or anything like that. But we were getting to it, and it was cool. And then he lifted up, and I looked at my dick, and I was like, my dick has left with more than what I put in.
Oh,
And I was,
okay.
and I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, I don't remember asking for this withdrawal.
Are you sure it wasn't him coming out of his asshole? Because these bottoms say that they can come out of their assholes. So are you sure it wasn't that?
Oh, is the anal cum brown? Let
Well,
us know if the anal cum. Maybe
I,
I'm wrong,
I don't know.
but as a functioning adult male with and I don't need Activia,
Activia.
you know. I know what that looks like.
I
So
was homeboy the benefit of the doubt too.
no, we don't do that. We don't need to do that.
Okay.
Okay, so let's flip it. And so what was one of your best experiences?
Best experiences. Uh, I feel like when it's with someone that I've been in a relationship with, I feel like those are always my best experiences because there's an emotional attachment there, and it just transcends just unbridled passion and
Uh-huh.
fucking. But I don't really have a best experience outside of a relationship. They're all pretty much, standard edition.
Yeah.
I just for like 17 years, 17, 18 years, so it's not anything at this point get kind of blurred together. Like if you would have asked a 24-year-old John this question, I probably could have told you something, or you'd have asked a 19-year-old John. But John at 34 is saying everything that wasn't attached to a meaningful relationship or a meaningful connection was just they was all right.
Okay. Let's see. I best is that takes some effort and some thought. So I'm gonna say one of the better experiences.
Hmm.
I was hooking up with this guy that I've hooked up with a couple of times because I'm all about familiarity. If I can help it, I don't. Not that there's anything for y'all out here. If random is your thing, have at it. Again, be safe. And I don't just mean as far as STDs and STIs. I mean as far as your actual well-being, your safety, your physical safety.
Hmm.
But as long as you're safe and you out here and you want to swing from dick to dick, then do what you do. Uh, but this situation, I was hooking up with this guy, and I guess we're both verse. So the first, however many times we hooked up, he was top. So this is one of the times when I was top, and he was riding me, and I was like, okay. I mean, it had been a while. I'm not. I mean, at this point, I've said it on my show before. I'm a non-practicing gay, so these are from my other life. So for anyone out here trying to judge me, but anyway, he was on top and he was riding, and it was good. I mean, he was getting into it. I mean, he was putting his knees. I mean, he was putting his hip flexor into it, and I was like, my word, I have time for this. And the cherry on the Sunday was, I bullshit you not. This nigga started saying thank you. I was like, oh, well, you're welcome. So that was one of my better experiences. Anytime that a nigga's riding, you giving a nigga dick and he says thank you, I feel like that's a win.
That is definitely a win for the home team.
Shout out to him. Well, no, not really, because he kind of trash. But shout out to me.
Yeah, shout out to you. You're the real MVP.
That's it. All right. I think that's pretty much it for this topic. You guys, if you didn't hear what you thought you were going to hear or what you wanted to hear about this, I'm going to continue. This is going to be an ongoing series of bottom versus top. We're going to throw some verse in there too. So this obviously will not be the last time you hear this topic. But John, while I have you, let's move on to the queer query. I always like to end the show with my guests asking a couple of questions, just so the listeners can get a little bit more of a glimpse of you outside of just the main topic.
Okay.
And these are specific. I had you in mind when I came up with these questions. So the first one is, what's one of your bigger podcasting goals?
One of my bigger podcasting goals. The first one is just to bring camaraderie and just to bring unity amongst the burgeoning podcasters, for the grassroots podcast, for the indie podcast, because everyone's not on loudspeaker. Everyone is not the Reed. Everyone's not Brilliant Idiots. Everyone's not the Friend Zone. There are podcasts below that, and I just want to just bring a cohesiveness. Like, we all exist in this Potterverse or whatever, this Potosphere, and that's one of my goals. And then I've never thought of anything outside of that. Like, I do podcasting as a hobby. It's always a hobby to me. Like, I'm not trying to get put on. I'm not trying to be famous. I'm not trying to, be on Bravo in the clubhouse with Andy. That's just not what I'm wanting to do. Now, being that I do love Big Brother. I do kind of want to go a little bit hard so that I can get a little bit of buzz so that maybe that might be an interesting play to when it comes to casting for the next season. So I mean that's pretty much the two things for me when it comes to that. It's just something that I really like doing and it's fun and it's just a great hobby. Like some people like sewing, I like podcasting. Some people like sucking dicks, I like podcasting. Those are things that I like to do in my spare time. So that's pretty much. I hope that answers your question.
It does. That's what's up. Let me think. One of my bigger podcasting goals. I should have probably put more thought into these questions before I asked them. I would say one of my bigger podcasting goals is because I'm like you, I understand and I realize that we're not all the Reed and et cetera, et cetera. We're not all the ones that you mentioned. I think that one of my bigger podcasting goals is to be able to do something live. And I don't mean like, going around the country or anything. I mean, if that happens, great. But, if I could just do like a small something here in my city and be able to see and kind of touch, for all intent and purposes, some local listeners, then that would be super dope to me. So putting that out there in the universe, hopefully I can do that in the next year and have a great conversation, maybe have someone with me to help facilitate the conversation or however that works out,
Right.
and move on from there. So let's see. If you were to throw a music festival, no Firefest, what would the vibe be, and who would be one of the headliners?
Oh wow. Okay. Just okay. So my vibe is this: just light, fun, airy, like just. I'm not gonna say like hippie, just not that, but just something that just like really a lot of vibrant colors, a lot of modernness, but a lot of just simplistic, approach. Headliner, Janet. I have to have Janet Jackson to headline. Yeah, that's gonna be my headliner. I would be in bliss. I would just be in a state of total euphoria to have Janet Jackson headlining a music fest that I was, a part of. That would just be everything for me.
Sounds dope. For me, same vibe, and to complement the vibe, I think that I would probably want to have Solange be the headliner.
Okay, that's what's up.
I feel like just her whole vibe goes along with that. Kind of just very mellow and a little spiritual and get your life and all of that good stuff. Okay, let's see. What's an ideal weekend for you?
An idea. I'm washed, so let me say this. So don't judge me. Your listeners, please don't judge me. I'm like, again, the questions you're asking a 34-year-old John are definitely not the answers for a 24-year-old John.
And
Just
that's okay.
an ideal weekend is just good friends, good food, lots of liquor. Just chilling, sightseeing. Nothing really set in stone. Just a real like wavy type of weekend. Like, you know, great conversation. It'd be great to have some good ass sex and thrown in the mix, but it's not required. It's more just a vibe and just a mindset than like what we're particularly doing.
Right. I'm going to have to agree. For the most part, if I can hang out with my friends, have something good to eat, libations, in whatever form,
Right.
I'm good to go. And I mean, not in my current landscape would the explicit gay sex be on the menu, but
Yes.
in the future and in the past it has been. So I'm with you there. But I'm also me. So an alternative to that would be just kind of being left the fuck alone. Like sometimes I just like to be left alone. And
Right, just leave me alone.
the work week is so much, and spending 40 hours with motherfuckers that you don't like, and smelling shit you don't want to smell, and hearing shit you don't want to hear, and talking to people you don't want to talk
Right.
to, and just being reminded that these people exist and you don't understand why. Sometimes I just don't want to be bothered. I want to be at home. I want to order food, and hopefully Uber Eats is not on some bullshit and not delivering directly to my door the way they say they're supposed to.
Uh-huh.
I can get into some Netflix or whatever movies and just chill and just, I require that. I require that alone time and that time to recharge. So,
Mhm.
but my friends, the people that I've cultivated, the circle that I've cultivated are super dope. So I don't mind giving that up to go to a function with them or just hang out and chill. All right, let's see. Oh, this is a good one.
Okay.
If you could join any past or current music group, which would you want to join?
Oh wow, a past music group. Um,
Past or current? I mean, I don't really know what groups are out currently, so this
I
probably will be
don't,
past.
I don't know. I've never been a fan of groups per se. Ooh, this is a good one. I would have probably been a part of NSYNC because they had a huge fan base where it's the girls, and most girls have a gay best friend, or some of the fan base are those gay best friends. So I would have probably been knocking through the fans or what have you, blowing out backs along the, East Coast, West Coast, all over, worldwide, or what have you. So probably NSYNC, probably
Huh.
would have dipped my pen in Justin Timberlake's hole or what have you.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe JC too. JC was kind of cute, so yeah, he get it.
Fair enough, fair enough. My first thought was TLC because that was like the first group that I really like latched onto, but hindsight is 2015, so fuck that.
Ah, okay,
I don't have time for All Lives Matter TC
I'm over them.
over them. I wanted to listen to their album just so I could roast them, but I haven't made the time to do it. Anyway, off topic. Uh I think I would say Boys to Men.
Okay.
Um I mean, Boys to Men is like one of the few groups that are like still together doing their thing, still getting coins. They doing whatever Geico commercials and shit, and they could sing. They were dope. I mean, they didn't have any dance steps for you, but that's okay. I
You're
mean,
right. It's not always about a dance step.
it's not
Sometimes you
always
just go
about
up
a
the
it's not always about an 8 count, but
that was helpful.
they gave you pleading nigga in the windy rain with an open white shirt music,
Right.
and you lived. You got your life, and so yeah, I would say Boys to Men.
Okay.
All right. So that, you guys, that wraps up this episode of Gayside Stories. Special, humongous thank you to my guest, John. I cannot tell you how appreciative I am that you made the time to guest on the show and how support. I mean, I don't know how you do it. How two podcasts and you work and you still find time to be everyone's cheerleader and do the things that you do. So much love and respect to you. Why don't you tell the people where they can find you and where they can find your show? Plug your show. Tell the people a little bit about your show or your
Okay.
shows, I should say.
You can find the John Effect podcast on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, I believe Acast, Overcast. What other platforms may pick it up, I'm not 100% sure. You can also find the official spinoff of the John Effect podcast, the Pod Panel, on under the same umbrella of the John Effect. So Twitter, I'm sorry, SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, what have you. You can find me on Twitter under the John Effects. Also on Instagram and Snapchat, and that's pretty much where you can find me. I'm around. I try to keep brand consistency. So, and then you can, there's a Facebook page, facebook.com/ the Johnny Feck podcast. That's pretty much where I'm at. I'm around.
Hey, you guys. If you fuck with me, fuck with John. His shows are hilarious. Listen, the last 2 episodes of the Pod Panel have been too fucking much. Like the episode with Carefree Blurred, and this
I love
last
it.
one with Danny from Danny and Cleo. Listen, you guys want to get a real glimpse of John, then make sure you listen to the Pod Panel.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because Jackie was saying, John, I love you on your show, but you just open up a little bit more on the pod panel. And I was like, I feel like I'm the same John if I'm guesting on someone else's show or I'm on the pod. I just feel like I'm the same John. I don't know, but it was crazy. When I tell you the episode with Danny was the littest pod panel ever, and we were down 2 of our members. So it
Yeah,
was
it was like I was at
it was
work.
crazy.
I was at
That's the part that was aired. Danny edited that episode.
mm-hmm.
So there were things that were so outrageous. We're like, we cannot air this. Cannot air this.
Well, what crazy. You did air was funny. And to your point, I think that you are the same across, the shows and whenever you guest, but I think it's the relationship and the interacting that's different on the pod panel.
Okay.
Having people there, because I believe you said that 3 of you guys host, like, you're together.
Yeah.
And it does make a difference having someone there with you and being able to see facial expressions and all of those types of things. And it comes across a little bit differently versus when you're doing a show by yourself.
Okay. I love your take on that. That makes so much sense. So yes, thank you. I'm glad you noticed that. But yeah, it was fun. The pod panel
is lit, y'all.
It is so fun. We are going to have you whenever you can work into your schedule. We will, and you're good with the Skype, so we will definitely this is your official invitation. Woo! We will work the details out when it's good time. Oh hush, we'll work it out. When you want to do it, we will do it. Hopefully we will have all of the squad on, but if not, and we have 2 or 3 of us, we're still gonna have a good time. So
yeah, it's gonna be lit. I'm gonna make sure I have my drinks ready.
Yes.
But yeah, appreciate you, John. Again, you guys, make sure that you are checking out the Sounds of the Stories playlist on the SoundCloud. Thank you so much for listening. Listening to John and I talk about whatever the hell we just talked about. Make sure you guys share this podcast with someone. Share it on your Twitter, on your Instagram, on your Facebook. If you have a gay that needs to listen to some podcasts, and we need to support each other. So anybody out there doing something creative that is part of the LGBT community, support them. Share their stuff. Get other people involved. Let's build each other up. With that being said, I know this was the top episode, but even if you are a top, you still need to be protecting your walls. Maybe not the anal ones, but you got some walls out there that you need to be protected. I mean, your penile walls. Y'all be out here pissing bleach and anyway, protect your walls, you guys, or they will crumble, and we are out.